Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the delay. I know a lot of you guys are like myself, and when you're listening to your podcast, you like to refresh on Monday and get your new batch of episodes. But I did some procrastinating and was not as prepared as I usually am. So here is your first ever Monday cast. Shane is joining me over here. And how are you doing today, man? Did you have a good Father's Day?
It was good.
So what did Nicole and all of them do for you? I guess, do you want me to say her name on the podcast? Or do
I've said her name on the podcast. But as I mentioned before, I didn't put all that much effort into kind of her Mother's Day. I'm not going to say it wasn't like I made her dinner, bought her a candle, like some kind of lame stuff. So, I didn't expect too much from her. So yeah, I mean, she spent quite a bit of money. We went out today with my mom and got some drinks and some food and whatnot, and ended up spending quite a bit of money. I'm kind of a cheap ass, and I just basically bought a candle. I was like, "This smells good," and then
so you're feeling fired up today, right?
Yeah, of
that's
course.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
And then made her food as opposed to buying, getting people to make us food.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what did you guys have? What did you eat?
We went a little bit of everywhere today. We went to this place that I can't remember the name of, that's on Mass Ave, that just opened. And then we went to...
what did you say that place was? I'm sorry, I was looking away.
I didn't say because I don't remember the name of it.
Okay, sorry.
It's new, like Edgegrow, or I don't know, something. But anyways, I went there and we had some drinks and French fries. And then we went to Brew Burger.
Nice.
I don't know if
I love
there.
Brew Burger.
It's pretty good. Me and my girlfriend do this thing where she gets a hamburger and I get a hamburger, and then we just cut it in half and flip flop.
Do swapsies.
Had some drinks, and after that we went to the Eagle, and I had a couple Moscow.
God damn, you guys were all over the place.
I know. Had some Moscow.
Just do it big on a.
Had some on a Monday.
On a Monday.
Had a Moscow Mule or two, and that's been my day after Father's Day extravaganza.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to taking advantage of stuff on Father's Day, because right now my birthday's pretty close to that, so I feel like I can get like 2 weekends in a row of
double down
everything about me, which I'm all in on.
Yeah.
I know that you're not.
I'm exhausted from your birthday. No, I'm just kidding. It's like all the things I did for you.
Yeah, exactly. No, the birthday was awesome. Did we talk about this last weekend?
What?
That we did the bad axe throwing and all that stuff?
I mean, you told me personally about it, but I don't think we talked about it on the podcast.
So I emailed the company and just told them I'd like to have them on the podcast because we're trying to do a little bit more stuff in Indianapolis. So I'm just waiting to hear back from them. They told us they'd listened to a couple episodes, so they're probably just never going to get back to me now.
I like that. We both kind of texted each other, and you said, "Hey, were you any good?" And I was like, "Man, I was so good that they asked me to be on a league." And then you were like, "Yeah, me too." So either we're both like, either we're both good or they're just like asking everybody to be on a league.
They just want to get a lot of people in there.
So, but I did do really well. I beat like the other two guys that we were with. I was pretty accurate with my axe throwing. I think it's all like a timing of the spin thing.
Yeah.
So as long as you're able to like get that distance in your spin. So if you're able to like throw it and count the number of spins before it hits the wall and like when it'll hit it, it's perfect.
Yeah. The thing that I had going for me was not necessarily my accuracy, but my clutch factor, because we played a game where if you hit, I think the 6, or if you hit one of the harder spots, you could trade points with the other person.
Yeah.
So there was twice that I won because the other person hit to 21, but I hit the last one when they had 21 and flipped the points and won the game, if that makes sense.
Two things I think are kind of crazy that we both went to bad axe throwing on our birthdays. Mm-hmm. So I went on my last birthday. Nicole took me to bad axe throwing. The second thing I think is kind of cool about that is that everybody that I went with, 2 of these guys were pilots, so like mechanic, not pilots, but mechanic pilots out of like some other state. And they were just in town. They're like, "Hey, we're going to do this." And then we met up with another couple. One guy was like what's like Dog of the Bounty Hunter?
Oh,
whatever the fuck he is. That's what
hunter.
this guy was. And they came up to him. Okay, anyways, long story short, we go from bad axe throwing. And we're like, hey, like, let's all, since we just been throwing axes together.
Oh, wait. Skip Tracer. That's another name for them because people trying to skip bail.
Okay.
It's a cool name, by the way. It just made me think.
Bail bondsman. Yep. So, anyways, we decide that since we played bad axe throwing with these guys that we're all just go to Kilroy's and I'll get a bite and some drinks. So we go over there and we're like kind of like a weird crew or whatever. The guy comes up that's like a bouncer there and tells the guy, and he's like, hey, I need that knife. And I didn't even notice the whole time I played bad axe throwing with this guy. He had a giant fucking like
Bowie knife,
like a what do they call those K-bars or whatever that like the Marines use, like this long ass knife, and he like pulls it off of his side, and then the guy walks away and he goes, "Little do they know I have like 2 guns and another knife on me," and I'm like, "Holy shit, who are you?"
This guy's ready for war.
And then he continued to tell us about how he got shot and that he just is recovering from this. But I just thought it was kind of cool that we threw axes with these guys, and then 5 minutes later, like everybody kind of, the little group ensued, and then we went over to Kilroy's and had some food together, and we didn't even know these people, and it ended up being a good ass time. And like me and my girlfriend kind of looked back at it as like, oh, it's kind of crazy that one time when we like threw axes, and then we went to the bar afterwards with this big group of people.
Yeah, I think you're very similar to me, that you're open to those experiences. Some people like to avoid those and just get out of there.
Well, that's
the way my wife is.
Yeah, the 2 plane mechanic dudes were like super cool, and they're like, hey, we're in town, like, you guys want to go get a drink with us? We don't know anything. We're like, yeah, come with us to Kilroy's. And then we were kind of like, saw the other 2 people, the guy that was like a fucking Dog the Bounty Hunter, and then his girlfriend that would like looked like a 20-year younger version of Dog the Bounty Hunter's wife.
Yeah, the nasty lady.
She wasn't. I mean,
I feel like she was.
She was all right. No, her, yeah, for sure. But the lady, I'm saying,
the ones
20
that
years
you were
earlier.
talking about, yeah.
And then, so they'd come with us, and it just kind of turned out to be like a halfway decent little shindig at Kilroy's. And he was like, I don't drink. And then I'm like, why the fuck are you here? And like, kind of stuff like that. And then I told him, like, I was like, yeah, I got an MP40. And he was like, oh, plastic ass motherfucking gun. That gun sucks. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to.
Well, we're done hanging out with you.
I was like, literally, you probably. And he's like, come to my house tomorrow and we'll do hookah. And I was like, well, that's where I call
All right, we're done here.
That's where I call it quits.
We're done.
But
here.
They were very nice people, and the guys that were pilots, or not, I keep calling them pilots, but pilot mechanics or whatever were
plane mechanics.
Or just pilot or plane
aviation mechanics.
But when you said plane, I thought you meant like just plain old mechanics. I was like, no, okay, yeah, I get what you're saying.
So another thing that was funny is Jen planned this for my birthday, and as soon as we got there, they forward you to their website to sign up for all the stuff.
And I've been getting fucking emails from them for months now.
And at the very top of the website, it says, new birthday policy, book your group, and the birthday boy or girl gets in free. I was like, Jen, did you look at this? And she's like, no, because I didn't book anything. I just decided to walk in.
Same. So I didn't get anything free or nothing.
But they are...
Something that's funny to me is there was this one girl that, a couple, they were kind of like different people, and they didn't come to the thing afterwards with us, but they were like in our group for a while. This girl threw the fucking axe like she was throwing a fucking... fastball, and like
she was whipping it,
and then like the end of it kept hitting the wall and making the loudest noise. It's not about how hard you throw it.
Well, that's what the guy kept telling us.
It's like rotation and timing and the length, how far you are away from the fucking board. And she just kept like, but I'm gonna say one time she was like super over it, and she just belted it at the thing as hard as she could, and it stuck right in the fucking middle. And it was like some straight, like, I don't know.
Good for her, though.
Yeah, it was good. Like, she got one, but for every other one, it just kept like ringing the walls, and they were like, doosh, like, and everyone was like, okay, chick, chill out.
Real quick question: did you do any of the trick throws? Because I did a behind the back where I had my back to it and like flipped it this way.
No one brought that to my attention.
Nailed it.
If I would have done that, I would have been scared that someone would be like, hey, sir, you cannot do that, sir.
Then I also did there's an underhand throw where you throw it like this. And I actually thought that was honestly easier to be accurate than the regular throw.
I think the easiest thing to be accurate was with the bigger axe, hold it with 2 hands over the head, and
I was opposite. The smaller ones I did better than I did with the bigger one.
I'm sure
it's all about your personal preference.
Yeah, to each their own. They made us like try each one,
Yeah.
and then as I got better, I was getting a little like I'm a badass. So I was like started using the other one, which I did well with too. But like my accuracy was best with the bigger axe. And if people out there don't know, I would think that a lot of people don't know that the bad axe throwing is a thing, and maybe you've heard about it. But I think
Well, I'm trying to find the address because I want to promote them a little bit.
Well,
just
there's
for the
been a lot of bars
shits
that
and gigs
have
about
been in this this place where this place is, and to the left of it, I would say is it's like Teeny.
Yeah, no, well, maybe, but I know that you pass by Brothers or Kilroy's, right?
Okay, if you're walking from Kilroy's to the parking garage under the bridge, and you get to the bridge, you've gone too far.
Yeah.
It's the very last thing before you hit the bridge, and you have to go up on some stairs and through some. And didn't you kind of feel? I don't know what they've done since you've gone, but when I went there, I felt like I was like walking through a fucking haunted house.
Oh yeah,
it was like
it's still that way.
Yeah, okay.
235 South Meridian Street,
like second floor,
number 211, Indianapolis, Indiana. It is on the second floor.
Luckily, there's paper signs with arrows that are like, "Hey, walk this way."
Yeah, it's very. I guess, what is it? Unassuming? Is that the right word? Unassuming?
In development.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing good though. It seems like
it's very cool.
Yeah, it seems like a really fun place to work too. Like the guys that were working there. But yeah, I think if you're gonna try something out and you want to do something different in the Indianapolis area, definitely check out Bad Axe Throwing. It was fun, and hopefully they'll come on and talk about it because there's a million locations. I just was on their website, and they're all over the United States. So I thought it was kind of like one of those just personal, like family-owned type things.
I'm not gonna lie. I felt cool for a while that they were like asking me to be in a league, but now that they've asked you and we know each other, I'm like,
yeah, but I was really good. Just remember that.
But I was probably better. I'm just saying.
Let's build one in your backyard.
Which one of us looks more like a lumberjack? I'm just saying.
I don't know. We'll see.
Speaking of looking like a lumberjack. No, I'm just kidding. We did some stand-up comedy recently.
Yeah, that was. I was getting nervous about it about 2 weeks before it actually happened.
I just kept telling myself, like, you know what? You're gonna go in there and you're gonna fucking murder this. I just kept telling myself that, like little, thoughts of like you're gonna suck, kind of creeped in, and I was like, you know what? No, fuck that. I'm gonna.
Mine was all derived from the fact that I just didn't take the time to write anything or do anything. And like,
we'll talk about that a little bit, like where you kind of got your inspiration from.
So basically, I have a couple of stories. I've told them on the podcast before, but I have a couple of stories that I just know really well because I've told them like 100 times, like each one. So I knew that I could at least try to kind of tailor those two stories to work for this. So like basically 3 to 4 days before, I had written a bunch of stuff down on my phone.
Someone asked did we tape it?
BJ got me.
I got you.
Or no, you got me.
I got you.
And then I think BJ got you, didn't he?
No, my girlfriend actually took like the last fourth of mine. I don't know why she decided to like do it, the fourth way through, but actually felt like the beginning of mine was like the better part. But I think overall
you ended it well.
I think so.
And so the person asking Paul if we taped it, I did get my full one taped. It's not going to ever become public unless we hit a milestone with the podcast. Like if we hit 1,000 likes on Facebook, or if we hit 100 reviews on iTunes.
Yeah, I would say yours was more like you were telling a story.
Yeah.
And it was a funny ass story, and the way that you told it was funny, and like some of the actual like movements you made to tell the story were funny.
And the even like the end of it, like I embellished the story because I like made it connect to my wife because I thought that would be funny. And that was something that I thought of while I was on stage. Like I never thought about telling that, like actually making that kind of like punchline at the end.
Yeah.
Until I was up there on stage.
I think a lot of stand-up is all about the delivery.
Yeah.
I don't think it's all like you can say some funny ass shit, but if you don't say it correctly, then it's not going to be funny. And I think actually someone just put Patreon, as in if we ever get a Patreon.
We do have one. We just need to get it updated.
So that would be some of the footage we might put on our Patreon.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
for subscribers. And Shane that's something that I've kind of put in Shane's corner if he wants to take it over. So.
I've done absolutely nothing.
But if you guys do want to go on there and start subscribing, you can, because you can do it for as little as $1 a month.
Yeah. So I just started a new job and I got a lot going on.
Oh, yeah.
And hence the reason why me and this guy right here have kind of been a little late. this week on the podcast. We both have like an insane amount of stuff going on, which is no excuse, because if you want to run a successful podcast, then you gotta make some
sacrifices every now and then. But like it's tough. Like when you just like for probably 2 or 3 months, things were going really smooth with me at work, and then things just completely changed, like on the drop of a hat. Which I still am blown away that companies can just be like, all right, we're gonna just move everybody and we're gonna figure it out. Yeah. So that's what I'm dealing with. So
back to the stand-up comedy thing. I wanted to go over some of the things I kind of wrote down that I wasn't able to go through in the when I did my stand-up. But I thought of everything that I said the day. Yeah, that I thought it up, and I'm like, I
got a text from Shane. Do you have any like funny stories?
Well, that's my first joke.
I've told on the podcast.
That's my first joke on my notes on my phone. Is it sad to text your friends a few hours before your stand up and ask for a list of funny things you've said? So I thought that was funny, and I think that the whole Roseanne thing is kind of funny with the Ambien and the fact that she said, like, she blamed the fact that she said some racist stuff on Ambien, and I just wanted to point out that my dad used to like take Ambien, go to bed, and then about an hour later, he would walk into the kitchen butt naked, eat all kinds of food.
And this was a standard thing that happened.
No, I mean,
it didn't just happen once.
Well, yeah, and all the time. Well, all the time that let's just say I knew when my dad stopped taking Ambien. And it's funny to me because he would go in his room, and I would kind of worry about him because he'd be in his room just going ham sandwich on a ham sandwich. Yes. And so I'd go in his room sometimes, and I would, I'd have to pry a Hot Pocket or two out of his hand, or take a spoon of cottage cheese out of his mouth, or, and I thought it was comparable because if she can say some racist stuff on Twitter, my dad, he had a 4-course meal, and would wake up in the morning.
So that's like a realistic thing that could potentially happen.
I kind of compared those two things. All I talked about was, the fact that I love being a dad, and my daughter would say things to me like, I go, I love you so much, and she'd go, you're sweaty.
That made me laugh really hard.
That was my other joke, and I started getting a Patreon. Somebody else needs to start getting a Patreon. I can't see who's saying this.
That's me.
You said that back to somebody else. I was replying,
yeah.
I was like, because it doesn't show me who it is.
Yeah, that's why the Mevo thing, like, Mevo, update your stuff.
It has the quote, and then
because it just goes away really fast. Yeah. It's stupid.
So basically, I talked about, funny things my girlfriend's done, funny things my kids said, and the whole Roseanne thing, and my dad taking Ambien, and I think I did all right.
So there's like what I've realized is by like making that thing up at the end of mine, like I could steal other people's stories and tell them, and as long as I like go to that person and be like, hey, I'm gonna like tell this story, do you guys care like if I act like it's my own story?
You can make up whatever you want, because one of the things I made up was I said I have a Labradoodle, and the girl goes, woo, and I go, don't woo too loud, I got him from a puppy mill.
That was great.
And I made that up on the spot because she goes, woo, like to a golden doodle. I was like, don't woo. Yeah, so that's one of the things.
That was great.
And you kind of like...
I forgot about that. That was fucking awesome. It was just like a one-off thing, but it was great.
And I made that up right on the spot.
Yeah,
so
that was good. I liked it. That was funny.
But we do want to talk about how my friend here, I haven't been in school too long. I think I've been in school since I was 25, so maybe a couple years or whatever. But you are taking an online class, and it's turning out to be a problem for us and me and you.
Yeah, it's a math class. It's stupid if people like. I don't know. People that are good at math probably think I'm an idiot, but it's like algebra and pre-calculus.
If you're good at math, stay the fuck away from me.
I probably don't want to hang out with you.
I don't need your fucking your bullshit. It's bad enough this guy's always correcting me with words and whatnot. I don't need you with your fucking
y equals mx plus b.
Yeah, fucking Pythagorean theorem and whatever. Isn't that correct?
Graphing the parabola.
Yeah, the parabola. Fuck you and your parabola.
Parabola is just a fun word to say, though. No, it's my suggestion. Basically, is the reason I wanted to bring this topic up when we were talking pre-show is the fact that math and not math. School is hard. So if anybody listening is a younger audience member that's maybe in high school or like trying to decide whether or not they're going to like go to college, like you want to do it as soon as possible because I'm taking a math class that I learned all of this shit 8 years ago, and it pops up in front of me on a test, and I have no clue
where to get it from. But also, from a different point of view, I would say that I wasn't mature enough to go to college straight out of high school, and I would have failed almost indefinitely. Yeah. So where I'm at now, and you know, I had a kid and whatever, and I was like, oh, okay, I need to fucking do something with my life, and that gave me the little oomph or whatever people might say to like oomph. So that made me want to finish school or whatever, or start school, and then so I just want to say that, like, you know, sometimes people don't always realize that, like, you can really fuck up if you just, like, anybody, I guarantee there's people out there that started school and they were like, well, and they knew going into it, their freshman year as a, 18-year-old, they're like, oh, I got this, and then they end up going and partying too much.
Yeah, that happened to me.
Yeah,
but it wasn't 18, it was 21, actually, when I first started going to... I mean, I first started going to college when I was 19, but it was like kind of off and on at Ivy Tech, and then I finally got to Ball State when I was like 20, getting ready to turn 21. I turned 21 like at Ball State, and then I just kind of like...
I kind of doubted myself, and people
just
told me...
went downhill as soon as 21 hit.
People, like, I doubted myself, and like, I'm not smart enough to go to college, and then when I started dating Nicole, she's like, you're... Like, I know you well enough to know that you could go to college and do...
Anybody can do it. It's the...
I didn't know that. I thought, like, you had to be like this, like...
It's the time commitment that I struggle with, because I'm always like, oh, I can definitely pick all that up. I've done this before. Like, because I've taken a lot of online classes and just breezed right through them, no problem. Math has just been really fucking hard for me, and that's why I've had to, like, really buckle down the last few weekends and figure it out.
I agree. It's one of those things where, like, you don't even necessarily have to be the smartest person in the class. You just have to be the most persistent person in the class, and the most, like you take your time and you use it the best. Because I'm one of those people, like, I work best under, like I'm the last minute kind of guy. Like, procrastination, like, I'll write a paper like 10 hours before it's due, but I work better that way. So I don't know if, like, I'm sure there's people out there, like, there's people in my class.
That's the way I am with classes that you take that have papers and research and things like that involved. But math is just a different beast, because you have to be practicing it all the time.
That's
because
true.
What screwed me on this last test is, like, I literally waited till the last day before the test and worked on the stuff all day, and then I took the test, and, like, at the end of the day, and had just completely, I guess, like, forgot everything I did that whole day because I was just like trying to like cram it. Anyways, I'm done with this. Basically,
I think everybody just works at their own pace, and everybody has their own way of getting through school. But
I just want you all to know that if you, like, have a reason to go, because if you don't have a reason to go, you're going to do poorly. And you know, don't follow the example that I've set, which is, I can probably take care of this with no problem.
So some things you did this weekend consisted of going to a wedding.
Yep.
Drinking at a wedding, which damn near everybody drinks at a wedding. If you don't drink at a wedding, I probably have a problem with you, because I'd be like, why the fuck is that guy not drinking? Is he underage? Is he pregnant? Is he got a baby in the womb? Is he got a test tomorrow? I don't know. But anyways, you did some things.
Is he 10 years sober?
Yeah. Is he a baby back bitch? But anyways.
No,
you also shot some clay pigeons, and I hope you did those things while you were drunk.
No, actually, that was the problem. Like, we went to not that was the problem. We went to the
that was the whole problem.
We went to the shooting range. There was a big list of rules. The reason that I have an issue with that is one of the rules was you cannot consume alcoholic beverages before doing this or during.
Gay.
And then another rule was you could only have 2 shells in your firearm at one time. So, so we, you know, everybody was doing that. Everybody was loading 2, shooting, moving on to the next person. And the old man that was running things, cooking food, and, like, he was literally, like, grilling and then also, like, selling and doing all that stuff. He came running out there and, you know, got in somebody's face and yelled at him and said, 1 shell at a time. And we were like, the sign says 2, and he was like, no, 1 at a time. I just almost got shot by some girl out here last weekend or something like that. And I was like,
there's always that guy, whether it's
the fun sucker.
Well, it's only that. It's like always that guy that's been doing that fucking thing way too long, and even he forgets the rules. He's like, fishing. It doesn't matter. Fishing, hunting. It could be a fucking soccer game, and the guy's like been doing it so long. He's like, foul, or like will yell and just be like. Perfect example is what you just said. Is like some guy saying one shell at a time.
Yeah.
Same with fishing, like one bass at a time, one hook.
Can you only have one hook?
No, I'm just
you
making
can
shit
have more
up.
than one. No.
I'm just saying you're right.
But
with,
no, it's just
you're right with the fun sucker thing. There's
like
always that one guy that's been doing the shit way too fucking long, and then he's like just doing exactly what you said, is sucking the fun out of everything.
Yeah, and I think I understand what he's doing, because we did have quite a few people that were completely new to this situation. They'd never really gone shooting before, so like we were showing people how to like handle the firearm and stuff, which is kind of a stressful situation if you're showing somebody how to do that, and then you got 3 people like 10 feet away from them firing their guns.
You did hear about that little girl that had a automatic machine gun, and she was like shooting it, and it like went off, and the recoil of it, like she
started to tilt her,
went sideways, and she shot her instructor.
No, but that's
I for sure remember this,
but that's definitely something that I blame the instructor more than I blame the girl.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. But like,
you're gonna give her a big gun that she clearly
for
is
sure. But like,
not able to
it's like,
handle.
how many videos have you seen on like line of like the only reason the video was badass? It's because it's some like 9-year-old shooting like a Desert Eagle or some crazy shit like that. So those are gonna be those kind of like cases where that kind of shit goes down, but. I agree with you in the sense that like they're like really like you're gonna let this little girl shoot him or an automatic machine gun, and she's like and like the recoil like made her move over to probably his fucking face, if I can guess, and then that man's not going home to his family, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it was a great wedding. A couple of our friends got married. That it was just cool. It was fun. It was at a person's house, which I think you were at a wedding recently that was at somebody's house and not like a
just rich guy,
not a venue.
Yeah.
But that's
what was their food spread like? What they had going on?
They had prime rib and fried chicken.
Damn, son.
And some mashed potatoes.
Who the fuck was like? Because you can pick, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like prime chicken or prime rib.
Prime chicken.
Prime chicken. It was probably prime chicken too. But I'm saying like, was it like you could probably pick whether you wanted prime rib or chicken. Whoever fucking picked chicken is not a friend of mine.
What's really funny is the groom came to the table and was like doing his rounds of like saying hi to everybody and everything.
It's annoying too.
And he was like
how's your prime chicken?
He was like, you're the one who sent the guest invite back that said 2 prime ribs. Is it even a fucking question? Somebody sent that back. That was not
awesome.
me.
Yeah.
I wish I could have taken credit.
He was
for
at
it.
your table?
No, the groom came asking if it was me. Like he was like, I think that was you, wasn't it? And I was like, no, but I wish I would have said that, because that would have been
because I feel
hilarious.
the same way. It's like, who fucking picked chicken unless?
But then their fried chicken was awesome too, and it was like
buffet. It's fried chicken.
Yeah, and it was like buffet style too. So like, even if you got the prime rib, you could go get some fried chicken. Like there was no problem.
Mine was barbecue, so it was like pulled chicken and pulled pork,
which is okay.
With like, and you could pick your like the level of hotness to your sauce, and it had potato salad. And some other things. And
potato salad?
You like your potato salad, Mr. Montgomery? I don't know. Anyways, so what else happened at this wedding? Anything exciting? There wasn't a DJ that happened to be in the woods.
No, they had a band, which was... I was pulling so hard for a band at my own wedding.
Smash and the Fanfan Band. Like, guy's name and the Flingers.
No, what was it? It was a good name, too. It was a good name.
Eric Poppins and the Flingers.
Nope, I can't remember. But no, we had
Chris Bangle and the Dingers.
No,
okay.
we had a really good friend, too, that jumped on stage and was playing the tambourine. That was pretty entertaining. The band didn't look like they were too happy about it.
Did he bring his own tambourine or
no? He grabbed it off stage. So that was pretty good. It was ungodly hot. So that and the thing is,
my question is, how did you dress for this occasion? Did you dress in semi suit or did you dress in fucking button up shorts?
I wore pink shorts with one of those like button ups the short sleeve one that you were wearing, like a Hawaiian style kind of shirt,
but not Hawaiian.
Yeah. It was white with pink flamingos on it, and I thought it was a pretty dope outfit.
Well, not only that, but like tell me there was guys there with suits on. that weren't the groomsmen or whatever?
It was very few because of it was almost like I think it was literally registered 100 degrees when we were headed out there.
Yeah,
so,
it was supposed to be like 104 today.
So the groom and the people in the wedding had pants and a long sleeve shirt. The girls had just like their normal dresses or whatever. I don't remember seeing anybody in a suit because clearly.
No, I'm talking like I'm talking just long.
No, I know,
sleeve
even
shirts,
like long sleeve. Like
tie.
I think I saw like two old guys with long sleeve shirts and pants. Mm-hmm. But other than those old guys, man, it was real relaxed. It was a great time, and like I said, you can't, I don't think either one of them listen to this, but like even if they are, like the wedding was awesome. The only complaint was that it was like 100 degrees, which they have no control over that.
Damn it! How dare they make it 100 and something degrees on the day that you were trying to go to their wedding?
And a large group of people were jumping in the pond because the pond is very swimmable. So it was pretty. There was
cool. A fucking pool at mine, and the only people that got in were kids, and it was like 94 degrees.
Well, there were some kids. There was like I think some of the like kids' parents probably swimming around in there with them just to make sure nobody was drowning or dying.
Yeah,
but it was a good time, great time. I honestly love weddings.
'Tis the season for fucking weddings and people out there with their money and their fucking awesome weddings, and I just am kind of pissed off because my wedding is not going to be that fucking cool.
It will be.
Nah.
It's as cool as you want to make it.
I'm gonna get like Mozzie's Pizza to.
I'm all in on that.
Or something.
The pepperoni. It's good shit.
The pepperoni.
It's great. They used to serve that at school lunch.
Not my fucking school. They had to go past my school to get to your school, and we still didn't have Mozzie's Pizza.
Our school is really weird. They had Mozzie's Pizza on like certain days of the week.
We had like Papa Murphy's, or
and
then
they had like Subway on certain days of the week. Then they had like I'm almost positive we got McChickens a few times.
You had that like little school fun, a little tiny school fun.
Well, and we also had what they called the a la carte line, which is like
just
a bunch of different shit.
Some shitty like fucking chicken sandwich that had too much gristle in it.
I just missed the years that they were doing milkshakes too. For some reason, they had like a milkshake machine that was not operational.
Can I tell you my least favorite thing about meat?
What's that?
It's like I love meat, but don't fuck it up with gristles. There's like those little hard things.
I actually kind of like it a little bit.
You're disgusting. I don't even know if I can fucking do this podcast anymore. That's the nastiest thing I've ever heard you say in my entire life.
It's like a little crunchy almost. And
no,
chewy.
It's not country. It's not country. No, it's not crunchy. You bite into a fucking hard piece that you cannot gnaw through, and you're like, "Is this a piece of my tooth?"
Dude, I haven't met a piece of gristle I haven't been able to gnaw through yet.
Is this a piece of my tooth?
I love it.
Is this a piece of my tooth or is it an actual fucking piece of gristle? I don't know. Who knows?
I'll swallow it.
That's disgusting.
Swallow it whole.
No. No, but like that's why like people ask me like what's your like I like every food, but like and then they're like, well, what do you do not like? And I'm like, well, sausage is kind of good. I like it until you bite into a piece of gristle. It's disgusting, okay. Dude. I can't do it.
No, what a lot of people.
And I actually think a lot of people would agree with me that like gristle.
Let's hear it. Is gristle bad?
You know what that is? Like. You know what your earlobe is made out of?
Oh, yeah.
That's cartilage. The same thing that's in a fucking chicken sandwich.
Give it to me.
Fuck that, dude.
No, also Jen and other people get really grossed out because Jen will cut the fat off her steaks and I'll eat the fat.
Oh, you're so gross. You and my dad are fucking best friends. My dad loves...
It's the best flavor.
And that's the best flavor. Hearing you fucking chew that
it's
fat.
Gross. It's like gross. It's a gross texture for sure. It's gross.
Oh, you're admitting that. My dad's like, it's fucking delicious.
But I love the flavor. And it's I will like, what I like to do is like, hope for her to finish her steak before me so that there's extra fat, and then I will like cut off a piece of my good steak and like stab it with the fat and eat them both.
You know what normal people do? They give that shit to their dogs. Okay. No, but I'm with you.
If they want their dog to have like heart disease.
So who fucking cares? They only live for like 12 years anyways. That's really mean. I'm sorry. No, but most people like I'm all about cooking it with the fat because the fat gives it the flavor. Oh, yeah. But once that shit's done cooking, I'm like cutting that fucking shit off. Yeah. And
no, I just like it. Tastes good.
But it's nice to live in a family where like one person is one way or the other. I'll cut mine off, give that shit to my dad. My dad's like,
dude, I've said it millions of times. Jen and I were made for each other because of the chicken wings. She likes the flats and I like the drums. And if we have like a mixed bag, I take the drums, she takes the flats, we're good to go.
I like flats.
Keep it moving along.
I like the flats.
I like them both, but I'm just saying, like, if I was to prefer one over the other,
Same.
I take the drums just because I like them. But flats, I'll suck those down too. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, wings are wings, man. Let's talk about something I didn't know before we started this podcast, that T.O. ran a 4.440.
Dude, the video.
How old is this man?
He is 44 years old, so it's like.
Okay. Oh, shit. He's 44 and he ran a 4.440?
Yes.
Man, get this guy the fuck out of here.
No, it's.
He's also a video game superstar.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that. He's actually also talking about the fact that he's not going to go to the ceremony where he will probably be inducted into the Football Hall of Fame.
I can
It's
respect,
such a T.O. move.
Yeah, but I can respect that.
No.
No. We're so different, but yet so the same.
Whoa, T.O. runs 4.444. What? 4.4 at 44.
4.444. That's sounds like a shitty tiling business's phone number. You know, like if you want your tiles done, like some really shitty tiles, 444 44 44. That's just a picture. That's just a picture of grass.
What the fuck's going on here?
You know, this guy that I do the podcast with, he just showed me a picture of grass.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, there he is running. Damn. Looks a little clunky.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's running that fast, but T.O., once again, I go back and like if I watch him playing, he's such a big guy that he doesn't look like he's running as fast as he is.
Yeah.
But the guy's holding up the stopwatch with the 4.43.
He stopped that shit like.
And he was like, you know, I wouldn't lie to y'all, but like, either way.
Yeah, honestly,
he looked like he was moving.
Yeah, he looked a little like we both just kind of agree that he looked a little clunky.
Yeah, but
that's, also like he can run 17 times millions faster than I can.
Well, and just to imagine to be that like genetically gifted that you are 44 years old.
We are. Me and you are both genetically gifted, but just not in the same sense. Like he's genetically gifted in running fast. We're genetically gifted at drinking beer. I've ran beer pong tables with you.
Yeah.
I've killed everyone you've ever known in Flippy Cup because I've been there, and I was like, okay, you're a loser.
Except for Jen, man. Jen's really good.
I was on her team, so we won everything. Let's see.
She's
what
like
else?
nasty good at Flippy Cup. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
And I always give Jen shit that I'm like I can beat you at anything, and I'm like she could probably beat me.
So
at
I'm
Flippy
kind of
Cup.
one of those people that always kind of bragged about being good at shit that does not matter, like cornhole.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like me, and you're really fucking good at cornhole, and I
realized it's just on our boards though, because our boards are not regulation.
See, I think I'm decent wherever I go. Like I used to go down to the Wild Beaver downtown, and then like in my 20, 21, 22, I didn't have any money. Still don't have any money, but it doesn't matter. I would play cornhole, and I would like just be like, hey, I'll play you for a beer.
Yeah.
And I would just like get, you know.
Then you don't have to pay for anything.
That's kind of dumb shit I was good at. But like I'm good at darts. I feel like I'm pretty good at pool, you know.
The leisure games.
I'm not good at fucking anything except the shit that doesn't matter.
Cornhole was interesting at the wedding as well because they had a setup at the wedding, and we lost a very close 2 out of 3 games where we busted, I think 3 or 4 times out of the 2 games that we lost, where we would have won, but me being bad at the last like throw and the boards being super slick. That I just.
This all sounds so sexual. Like we only busted 4 times. The board was really slick.
And that it was rough, but
the bags were super soft that night.
Phil and Cody got us.
God damn you, Phil and Cody. Let's talk about geographic tongues.
So
something that you didn't know about until I fucking brought it to your attention.
So I brought up we always try to make a little list of things that we want to talk about, and I said people with really long tongues gross me out, and it's weird.
And I said, sir, I'll tell you one thing better.
Yeah.
And I brought something to your attention that was called and if you're at home and you got your Google bar and your Google search up geographic tongues, and if you are out there and you're hiding one of those things in your fucking mouth, you keep that shit in your mouth and don't tell anybody because
it can be treated as well.
No one will want to
seek help, seek medical attention.
No one will want to marry you with that shit in your mouth.
This one almost looks like a little design. Like that's like kind of.
I'd rather have herpes. I'd rather have herpes than that shit.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. Like,
this can be treated and taken care of.
Well,
I don't know about herpes.
Soon, you never know about the herpes.
I mean, they're always working on trying to get rid of all that stuff.
We can't really do much, but other than tell you to look it up because it's,
just look it up. It's fucking disgusting.
God,
like, and the thing is like you're gonna look it up now, and now you're not gonna be able to forget it. It's just disgusting. Oh, look at whose mouth is that? Is that like some sort of fucking mutant creature?
That guy's name is like Dwayne. That guy's name is for sure
No,
Dwayne.
it's, what's the guy's name from the movie The Goonies? See, now I need you to help me with that.
See, you're usually the one that's telling me this shit.
Oh my gosh! So people on Facebook Live, who's the big ogre guy in The Goonies? Come on, tell me. I know there are people
there's
watching.
2 people, so
It says 2, but it says like there's like
it
says there's like 7 people watching at the same time. But
man, if I had time to think and not run the show, I would totally tell you what that guy's name is.
But anyways, so yeah, Geographic Tongue. Look it up. Where did you hear about it? Like what
I didn't hear about it. I got a
think
firsthand back in high school. My buddy Gary Russell, who is a good guy, used to have a lot of parties. And one day he had.
I think he listens too, or at least he has before.
I hope he
so
does.
Thank you, Gary.
Well, he's a good dude, and
I used to give him rides to school. By the way,
such a good dude. One of the best people I've probably ever known, honestly.
And we'd listen to Lil Jon and the East Side Boys with my sound system that I had in my car.
And I just want to say that he had somebody at his party, and this girl had this Geographic Tongue, and she showed everybody, and then everybody got really grossed out by it, and then Jensen Marasco slept with her.
Do you get to call him out like that on the podcast?
Anyways, so whatever that girl's name was, she had this tongue, and it creeped everybody out, and apparently didn't creep him out enough. And
I don't know, was she good looking?
She wasn't horrible. She was a cheerleader, and then she was a college cheerleader. So I think she cheered for maybe like IU, actually, I think. Cone was her last name? Maybe her last name was Cone.
I don't know.
She had a sister named Erica. Anyways, her fucking tongue was gross.
You're just coming for everybody right now.
I'm just thinking of things that I can remember from the situation. I don't think Jensen has any problem with this because everyone knows that back in the day he was getting it in. No one has a problem with that. I don't think. I mean, but he just happened to be getting it in with somebody that had a weird tongue.
Well, what's really funny is when you mentioned that, I thought that I was like remembering back to a time that I'm pretty sure I made out with somebody that had a weird tongue.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that that's what it was.
Well,
because the texture that I'm remembering is looking like the picture that I'm seeing.
And it sounds like I'm calling him out, but really, like, how many people a day actually probably make out with someone with this weird tongue thing?
Yeah, lots.
I wonder what the percentage or the genetic, what 1 in 79 people have geographic tongue.
I'm gonna look it up.
I've only met one, so it's gross. It's just something. Like, if I can explain it to anyone, it just basically looks like when you think of geography, you think of your tongue.
It says that geographic tongue, benign migratory glossitis, is a benign condition that occurs in up to 3% of the general population.
3% is small.
You think about 3%. If it's talking about the global population,
3% of 7 billion people.
Yeah, that's a very large number, though. If you factor it out that way. But I mean, like the rate of it happening is obviously
1 in 3 people has herpes.
No way. There's no way that's true. And maybe I guess the subtle version of it. Isn't there subtle versions of it?
No, there's two.
Where you're not inflamed.
There's the mouth one and the vagina one. So if you have the mouth one, you're basically probably going to end up giving that to somebody's vagina. And then you're going to put your dick in that vagina.
Dude, there's no science behind this stuff.
No, listen. Are you ready?
Yeah,
okay, say you have mouth herpes. And you make out with a girl that has no herpes. And you give her mouth herpes. Okay, then you guys are like, oh, let's fucking be in a couple with each other.
Because of the herpes?
I'll date you.
Is that the thing?
No. I'll date you, you date me. So a couple months go by. She's a real modest woman. She's like, I ain't fucking until you give me a Diet Coke or something along those lines.
I like that.
Okay, so time comes, you're ready to, so you're like, well, the dick's not doing the job. I need to put my mouth on it. You put your mouth on her vagina, you give those mouth herpes to her vagina. So her vagina has those herpes now.
Well, I understand how that happens. I'm saying that there's different levels of herpes.
You put that wee-wee in that vagina, and now you have the dick herpes. So now everybody in this situation has full-blown herpes.
Okay, I can believe that.
Okay, so I thought you needed a...
I mean, I'm just saying that you're not listening to me though on the fact that there is different versions of herpes.
No, there's just one and two. Simplex 1, Simplex 2. That's it.
There's HSV 1, HSV 2.
Oh.
All right.
I'm not trying to brag about how much I know about herpes.
It says herpes virus 8 types. Hold on. Yeah, see, there's 8 types.
Well, I'm going to tell you that, yes, it can be more prominent.
Virus 1, virus 2, virus 3, virus 4. Yeah.
Okay, but look up any health book and it's 1 and 2 because it means 1 is mouth, 2 is genital. But I'm just saying that, like, yeah, I'm sure, like, one person from the other, it's going to be prominent in somebody else more than it is somebody, you know.
This is what I was getting at, and I know that we're talking about two different things because human herpes virus 3, HHV3, is also called varicella zoster virus. HHV3 causes chickenpox. It can also cause a recurrent virus infection of the skin, which is called herpes zoster or shingles. Shingles occurs when dormant varicella zoster. So
shingles is a form of herpes that a lot of people get, but it's not necessarily. It's treated by the same medicines.
Human herpes virus 4 is also known as mono.
Yep. See, that's another. Yeah. So, basically, what I'm saying.
So that's what I was getting at, and I understand I understand where you were going.
Sounds like grasping at straws, but
so anyways. now we're on the same page because I was right and you were right as well.
But I do think that there are levels of having the Simplex 1 and Simplex 2 because I think there's people that you see, and they get and you ever been working with a guy at work and he's got that shit on his lip, and you're like, oh well,
not very often,
and that goes away,
I've seen it.
And then like a couple months later, you're like, oh, that shit's on his lip again. Mm-hmm. So and people like to say, oh, but yeah. I mean, I think that's like an actual thing that, you know, some people struggle with more than others. And I think there's people that probably have it that go under the radar and don't really show any signs of it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, instead of getting to like a really mass herpes talk, let's talk about some other shit. We all got this from the geographic tongue thing, and it came from saying that 3% of people on this earth have a geographic tongue. Yep. If you're one of those out there, and you want to send us a quick email kind of explaining, you know, what's going on with your tongue, why it looks so fucking weird.
Do people ever ask you, like, you know, what's going on with your tongue after they make out with you?
Because I've seen some, like, the girl that showed us was, like, proud of it. So, like, if you would just...
Proud of it, huh?
She was like, look, this is what's up. So, like, she showed us and, like, oh, shit. And I was like, anyways, so if you're out there and you're like that, tell us about it. Tell us what kind of weird situations you've had with that.
How can they tell us about it?
They can email us at what you're about to say.
juiceinthemorning@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Spelled just like it sounds.
Super easy. juiceinthemorning@gmail.com. And email stories about having a geographical tongue, you three.
Geographic tongue.
Geographical. It's fine. What's the difference? The
geographical works.
Everyone knows what I'm saying. If your fucking tongue's weird, email us.
Speaking of words.
Speaking of ancient aliens.
No, I was thinking words because we were talking about geographical and geographic. And, you know, I think that I've always wanted to see... Shane claims to be a good speller, even though I always call him out about the words he pronounces. So I wanted to kind of put him to the test, and he thinks that he can probably spell better than me.
Well, I'm just going to say like you probably picked the two hardest words you could find.
I haven't even picked yet.
Okay.
So I'll let you go first, and then I'll pick after that.
Okay. And then I think I just picked two words that like I think that are like semi-hard that I think that I could spell, but I'm not sure if you can. So I think this is kind of going to be kind of funny because everyone thinks I'm a fucking idiot. So
nobody thinks you're an idiot.
Okay, well,
I'm more of an idiot than you.
Ask my dad. He thinks I'm an idiot.
I just know words.
He doesn't know words. Okay, what's up?
You're the one who goes first because I told you I'd pick based on. It's like
because you don't have any words yet. I was like, I already picked words.
I have them. Yeah. They're right in front of me. No,
I want to go first.
The reason I want you to go first is the same reason that when I was poor and I would take a girl out to eat, I would let them order first because then it would determine how expensive my gift.
You're gonna offend me and then make me go first. I'm gonna offend you. Okay.
No, so if you go first, then I can decide how hard I'm gonna make mine.
Belligerent.
Ooh, that's tough though.
So I can use it in a sentence real easy for you because I can think of a few times where you may have been belligerent. So if you want to,
very recently. Man, what's going to catch me up, I think, is how many L's, because I think it's BELIGERIENT.
That's wrong. You got 2 actual letters out of that wrong. There's actually 2 L's.
2 L's, so I knew that.
And that last RENT is like rent. Like you might pay rent, not RINT.
I said RENT.
No, you didn't. You said I.
Oh, we need to go back to the tape.
Promise you.
We'll go back to the tape.
Okay, please do, because I would have not caught that because I was like, oh, he's just going to get the 1 L wrong.
I'm pretty sure I said RENT.
Oh, I'm telling you.
All right, well, anyways.
Why the fuck would I say that? Anyways.
So let's go ahead and give Shane his word. We're going to go with...
This is what happens when you pick words off the cuff.
Ominous.
Oh, fuck.
This is one that I know I would know.
O.
Yep.
MINOUS.
There you go.
Ominous.
Nailed it.
Fuck with me.
Yeah, belligerent's tough though, because like I said, I knew right off the bat I couldn't remember if it was 1 L or 2 L's.
Okay.
And it's also one that I don't ever use that word. And if I do, I'm describing it. I don't type it. So
sometimes I say, yeah, you don't ever.
It's one of those
text
things.
someone like, hey man, sorry, I was belligerent.
But it's also one of those things that I will admit that I think having autocorrect on my phone has also ruined my spelling a bit, because if I'm typing belligerent, I'll get 2 L's in and it'll just pick it. Like I think it knows already to pick that. So
you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing you might have happened to you in your life is maybe confiscation.
Confiscation. CONFISCATION.
That is correct, sir.
That was a good one though, and I always am getting. I'm also like one of those people that when I get put on the spot, I struggle too, because like I like second guess myself, like I did with the belligerent. I should have just gone with it instead of trying to guess already. All right, so your second word will be...
Don't pick a 2. You're going to pick a hard one. I already had these pre-picked, so...
I don't know. Let me think about those real quick.
You're going to pick a fucking hard one.
Yeah, but all these are really easy, so I'm like kind of like trying to figure out something that's a little harder. But let's go ahead and go with... I mean, I'm just going to be pissed because you're going to get it right. Let's go ahead and go with parliament.
Oh, man. I have a problem with this with 2 letters that I'm trying to figure out, and probably going to spell it completely wrong. I'm going to go PARLIMENT.
You missed 1 letter.
Is it I?
It's A. Because you left the A out. It's parliament, which is PARLIAMENT.
Yeah. So I'll be honest that I thought it was either an I or A, not both.
Yeah.
So
good job, though. Good job, both
like
for us, though.
Parliament.
Yeah.
Like parliament. Yeah.
Good job for both of us.
Yeah. So
if you were spelling along at home and you got it right, go ahead and send us a message on Facebook or juiceinthemorning@gmail.com.
I actually think we should have like a game breaker, like because we both got one right and we both got one wrong. So if you got one pulled up, and
you look for yours.
Okay, I had a list that's popped up already. So let's see. Let's see. Catastrophe.
Catastrophe. CATASTR. I forgot where I got to.
You can start over.
CATASTROPHY?
Nope.
Where did I miss?
The last letter.
Was it A? Is it A?
It's E. Catastrophe.
Oh, fuck. I knew that. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
God damn it.
All right. It's my time to shine here. Here we go, baby. Come on. You're going to give me it.
Whatever.
Okay. Come on. Daddy got this. Don't take too long. I got to pee really bad, too, by the way.
I'm going to go ahead and say...
Anus. A-N-U-S.
Eloquent. Because Shane is eloquent.
E-L-L-E-Q-U-I-N-T.
Nope. Eloquent is E-L-O-Q-U-E-N-T.
Okay.
So there you go. We're equally...
No, we need to do one more. We need to do one more. I want to win this thing.
All right. Hey, people on Facebook Live... well, you can probably see it. You can probably see it too.
Are they spelling for us?
No, nobody's spelling. Everybody's gone now. Thanks, guys, for liking and sharing.
Should we just go past this and then have a deal breaker next podcast? Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's just pass it up.
Yep.
Let's talk about Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy is a UFC. Had his first match. Or bout? What do they call UFC? There's a fight. I guess I don't know why I didn't just say fight.
Prelim.
He had his first fight over the past weekend, I think. But Greg Hardy's a former NFL player. He's alleged.
What's the chances you can talk about this while I pee?
I can talk about it right now.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah, Hardy's alleged domestic abuse is well chronicled. In 2014, he was convicted of assaulting his ex-girlfriend, and pictures were eventually released that showed extensive bruising on his alleged victim's face, neck, and back. Hardy's alleged victim also said he threw her onto a couch covered in loaded assault rifles and shotguns and threatened to kill her. In 2015, the conviction and charges were expunged from Hardy's record when his victim did not appear at his appeal. So clearly she was just scared and did not want to go to the court date because she didn't want to deal with that, or he paid her off or something happened like that. But Hardy got another chance. He played for the 2015 Cowboys, but he was a team problem and was out of the league a year later. As a result, Hardy took up MMA. On Tuesday, he won his professional debut via a 57-second knockout that wowed President Dana White. In the aftermath of the fight, White offered Hardy a UFC contract that the former NFL defensive end accepted. When asked about the controversy surrounding Hardy after his fight, White told ESPN opponents are going to call him a woman beater, and that's going to follow him for the rest of his life. You don't shake that. That stays with you forever. It does. That's insane. The guy paid his dues. He hit rock bottom and built himself back up. The guy's out there just trying to make a life and a living. People make mistakes. People always make mistakes. And the thing about making mistakes is, how do you recover from that? How do you act after you've done something bad? He's trying to change his life. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the thing that I've always thought is interesting is whenever you see situations like this happen in sports, in a professional atmosphere, you tend to, when you give somebody money, they become 10 million times the thing that they already are. So if they're a terrible person, you give them a bunch of money, they're going to become a more terrible person. If if somebody's a great person, you give them a ton of money, they're probably going to do charities. They're going to be a great person. They're going to be Tim Tebow out there praying on the sideline, that kind of thing. So I just think that, we'll see. Like, in my mind, I say, keep Hardy in the UFC, let him get a chance. If he breaks that chance, let him go to jail just like the rest of the people.
So I think a big problem that's wrong with the UFC is they're giving people that have been out for too long or, big names. They're giving them too big of chances even though they've fucked up or been beat or just based on their name, like Brock Lesnar, for example.
Has he even had a good fight recently?
No, he hasn't been in there for a while, but I think there's a dude named like Darren. They call him The Damage, but I can't think of his last name right now, but he's like ranked number 10 right now, but he's like, I think he's ranked number 10, I'm not sure, but he's won a lot of fights, and he's not ranked necessarily what he should be, and that bothers me in the sense that, like, they're letting these well-known names, necessarily fight someone where, other people who have put in the time and are on like a six fight win streak. Those are the kind of people that they're letting they're not getting the limelight that they deserve.
So, what's really insane is, we are based out of Indianapolis. We're based out of Indiana. We have a guy that I think a little bit better than I do, but Austin Tweedy has a fight coming up June 26th. He's in the Dana White's Contender Series. Basically, very similar situation to the Greg Hardy situation, right? Like if he wins in a exciting fashion, Dana White could just walk out there and give him a contract, right?
Yeah, it's in like 8 days, right? So basically, if he wins, and like not only does he win, but he wins like well.
Yeah, which I think that's interesting. Like would he have like?
Because it's one of those things.
The 56-second knockout was like a big deal, and that's why Dana White gave that guy a contract. But like, would they do that with somebody else?
Like, I'll tell you a perfect example. Michael Jackson, which that's the guy's name who beat CM Punk. CM Punk is not a good fighter, and the guy who fought him, his name was Michael Jackson. He fucked around and didn't finish CM Punk when he could have. He basically lollygagged and kind of didn't gave him, time and made, I think it let it go all the way to like the third round when he could have finished him easily because he's way more, he's like a brown belt.
Technical fighter.
He's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and I have no idea what CM Punk is. Probably not even a blue belt, maybe a blue belt at the very least, and could have completely just dominated him right out of the gate, and he didn't. And Dana White saw that and said, CM Punk and Michael Jackson will never fight in the UFC ever again.
Wow.
Or said something along those lines. So I think what he means when he says has to win by, in an amazing fashion or whatever, he just means that he has to win and prove to me that he's ready to be in the UFC.
Right. Well, I'm looking it up right now. I was trying to for some reason the internet's being weird because the site that I was looking at Austin Tweedy about was it's loading now. But anyways, he does fight in 8 days. It's gonna be a really cool thing. And I don't know if it's gonna be on TV. I don't know how to watch it.
I think it might be on FS1. I'm not sure.
But I want to get in on that.
It's totally cool.
I think we should watch that together.
I agree. I know for sure I'm going to be watching it. I don't know what platform, whether it be if I'm streaming it.
Yeah, that's next Tuesday.
If I'm streaming it illegally, but I'm going to watch it no matter what.
Let's get together and watch it, and then let's do like a bonus thing right afterwards and just talk about it for like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, since I think it is a like a preliminary or I'm not sure what he called it, like a contender. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, contender series.
So I think those things are like you're able to watch them live through some kind of platform, whether it be cable TV and or
Facebook
the
or
internet somewhere. So I think we could definitely watch that for free, and as long as it's on Tuesday evening, I work all goddamn night, so I'll probably end up watching at work.
Okay.
But we should definitely talk about it and do some stuff with it. Yeah.
But yeah, so in the same world of sports, here is the gigantic 12-year-old that is 6'10", playing on 8-foot goals. How do you feel about this, Shane?
How is he? 12, right?
12-year-old, 6'10", 8-foot rims.
Like, I don't even want to talk about the sport.
Like, he's not even jumping.
That's what I want to say is like, what? I don't even want to talk about the sports aspect of this. I just want to talk about like, when the fuck did we start getting like 12-year-olds that are 6'10"?
It's all the genetic milk, like all that stuff,
the
GMOs and all that stuff, genetically modified.
Man, good for him. Like,
well, the thing that drives me insane is this kid is acting tough around all these other kids.
Yeah,
you're literally another person taller than some of these kids.
He would have to be like the most modest person on the court. You know, if I was him, I would just be like, I'm obviously 3 feet taller than everybody.
I guess though, like if I was 12 and I was able to dominate at that level, like I guess maybe that I would be probably just as big of a dickhead. But
I don't know. His parents just need to be like, hey, look, you're like 4 foot taller than everybody on this fucking court.
Well,
so
and I'm shocked that they don't do something like put him in a league where they're like actually playing on full sized rims and he's playing against kids that are like the same size as him, because the reason they can't is because the kid is built like
Sean Bradley.
He's got his getaway sticks, but they're a little too thin.
Do you know who Sean Bradley is?
Yes, I do. He was in NBA.
He was in Space Jam. Yeah, so he looks like a young Sean Bradley. Yeah.
And definitely, if he takes one wrong step, he's going to snap his little twigs in two.
It's getaway sticks. He's going to snap those things right in half.
Yeah, but I think that's what I'm waiting to see is one of these kids just go nuts and like go diving into his legs and just snap him in half.
Like one of these coaches just need to be like, go for his legs, go for his legs.
Sweep the leg.
But I was kind of like he wasn't just hitting layups or dunking. He shot a couple like 3-pointers and whatnot.
Well, and he missed terribly. Is it fair to let a kid that tall play on an 8-foot rim? Probably not. I mean, his team strategy seems to be give the ball to Oliver under the basket and he'll dunk it without jumping. Good strategy, but not exactly fair.
But the thing is, it's also not fair to not give this kid the same thing that he's 12 and he's tall as fuck, and that's not his fault. So
he's not. I mean, I say enjoy your moment in the spotlight right now, kid, because he's not going to be good. Being that tall and that lanky, there's probably something wrong with him genetically as well. So
you're going to die super early.
He's probably going to get sick.
It sounds
something
mean. I'm telling some
terrible
12-year-old kid he's going to die super early, but I mean, honestly,
come on.
Like his heart can't spread blood fast enough to the rest of his body, so he's kind of fucked.
That's why he doesn't have to jump very high. It's good that he doesn't have to jump very high.
I just want to be like, I wonder if his voice is like oddly deep. You think?
Hey, how are you doing?
No.
Every time.
I love it. I know. Anytime.
Every time. Yeah, but that's to a little bit more of a sad note. The rapper getting shot, which I don't know if it's sad or not because I don't know. I've never heard of this guy.
Like, play stupid game, win stupid prizes. You know what I mean? Have you ever heard that phrase?
I have not, but I like it.
So it's like one of those things where, like, if you get yourself into dumb shit, you're gonna get dumb consequences. So, like, if you're a rapper and you talk about gang shit and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, like, you're gonna end up getting fucking shot in the face. And the reason why I'm still walking this earth today is because I don't get on. Whatever.
I mean, you do some dumb stuff, but
for sure,
you're just not going after. You're not going around where guns are at.
Yeah, but for sure, everyone should know as a disclaimer. Like, I do dumb shit all the time that I should not do. It's just like I'm being judgy and talking about someone who's doing like way dumber shit than I am. Like, I still do. You're 100% correct. Like, we both do things all the time that we shouldn't do. Like, we both drink too much. Like, we both talk about things we shouldn't talk about around the wrong people. You know what I mean? Like, think of anything that, like, we both do dumb shit all the time.
Yeah.
So.
But I want to know really quick, where do you think, without looking at the story, where do you think in the country this happened?
Detroit.
Nope. It'll be your second guess, I guarantee it.
Chicago.
Damn, no. Florida. Come on. Everything terrible happens in Florida.
Chicago and Detroit's
I'm just
murder rates
saying,
like,
just like crazy stuff happens in Florida.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
if you look at the news.
If you said bath salts and he ate some guy's face, I'd be like, Florida.
It said it's so crazy that Twitter is a source of news for people. Rescue workers transferred the 20-year-old to
It's a source of your news.
I know. But I didn't get this from Twitter.
Oh.
20-year-old to North Broward Hospital at 5:40 p.m. Eastern. Local police tweeted that the adult male that was taken to the hospital has been pronounced dead. Like, who's running that Twitter?
Well, they also need.
I want that job.
They need to get on board with that like paintball thing that's going down in Detroit.
I agree, but also I feel like that's setting them up for like failure. Like, they're going to be pulling out their paintball gun and somebody's going to light them up.
Gun. Yeah, he's like, I got a paintball gun.
I'm taking this fucking block over. All they're doing is shooting me with paintballs.
Well, that's the worst gang move ever.
It says authorities in Florida say they're searching for 2 suspects in the fatal shooting. I don't know how to say his name. Extension. Is that probably? I don't know. Extentacion. Had been at Riva Motorsports checking out inventory. The sheriff's office said he was in a black luxury vehicle and preparing to leave when 2 armed suspects approached him. At least one of them fired, and then both suspects fled the scene in a dark SUV.
How many fucking like rappers dyings leading up to does this sound like?
Everyone?
Like, black luxury SUV.
It's a movie.
He was checking out, motorcycles, and then he got shot, and then
I'm trying to figure out where you get motorcycles. Is it because it said motorsports?
Yeah.
He was just checking out inventory at this Motorsports, which I'm assuming was just a car store. When I look at the picture of it,
Motorsports makes me think of motorcycles for whatever reason.
You're right. You're probably right.
And what rapper do you know that's like, gotta go check my inventory? That's
well, I'm
not
saying
a thing.
like they're going to look at the other cars there.
He's probably just going to buy something because he's fucking super rich.
I don't see how he's that rich. I've never heard of this guy.
Way richer than me and you. Probably just going to buy a motorcycle or a nice ass like Mazda Miata or some kind of like shitty car that we think is not nice.
I don't know. I'm confused by that. But anyways, once again, it's something that bumps me that probably shouldn't. I should probably understand.
You should just say it. Ryan Kelly.
I just told him that kid's going to be struggling because I'm pretty sure Ryan is commenting on our thing via our Facebook page.
It's weird. Like if he was here, it'd be a lot better.
Because he said
it's kind of our fault though.
He said being that big, he can't move that fast, and then he said, "Damn, that's a bit too much." So I think we said something that was a little too aggressive for Ryan.
Ryan Kelly, I just want to say, "What's up, dude?
What's up, dude? Saw, dude.
You got all those Obey shirts I ordered or no, dude? Fucking miss you, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna get him back. Let's shoot for Sunday. We're gonna do a podcast on Sunday.
I would just say we're gonna do something.
Yeah, we're gonna do a podcast Sunday because I have some stuff planned for my wife for her birthday, but we'll be back in plenty of time to do something Sunday.
Yeah,
and I won't drink too much.
Said you every time you drink too much before.
No.
Yes.
I did a pretty good job last time. I still made it to work.
That's good. I like you much better when you drink a lot. I'm not saying that I don't dislike you when you don't drink enough. I just like because like when you can obviously tell when you're trying to not drink a lot, and I don't like you when you're trying not to drink a lot. You're like composed and you're trying to be like a upstanding citizen, and it's kind of annoying. And I don't like that. I'm like, come on, bro, let's party.
Yeah.
But I always end up being the less drunk of us. But that's probably also because I'm like feeding you alcohol, and I'm like.
I just like to have a good time, and like if I feel like I have a responsibility the next day, I have a hard time like getting to that point. But then when I get to that point, I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'm all in. Let's go.
Dude, I'm with you. Like a certain point when I have alcohol, it's like what are responsibilities? What are my goals in life? Those things don't matter. Like that, like your buddy Lift. Or what is it?
James.
He's like has all this inspirational things. All those things that he's trying to tell you that are like positive about your life, all those things go out the window.
Oh yeah.
When you're drinking.
Yep.
So it's like
and did I bring up the fact that I wanted to like quit smoking? Did I already say that? And I want people to join in with that.
You sent me a timer that had told me, and I was
I'm pretty sure I said it on the podcast.
Super
already.
Unimpressed by that timer because as a person that doesn't smoke, I'm like, oh, okay, good for you. Yeah. No one fucking cares.
Well, it's just the beginning, and I'm going to continue to send it.
But I do understand that like quitting smoking is like me trying to not eat a cheeseburger every 4 hours. So I feel you. Like
it's something that it drives me insane still to this day. That it's something that I've always prided myself on the fact that I had self-control. I have control of my own life, control of my own body, all that stuff. And it drives me insane that there is a chemical that will literally make me change my thinking. Like it'll change my brain the way I think, because I'll go into a gas station just to get like an energy drink, and my brain automatically starts saying, well, you could buy a pack of cigarettes and just keep them in the car, and you just smoke only when you're in your car. And then, like, it's just weird that it does, like, that your body is literally doing that to you, like, to yourself.
Well, I do the same thing. I, like, psychoanalyze myself and, like, try to tell myself that, like talk myself into eating this cheeseburger. I'm like, well, you know, I start out in the beginning, I'm like, you know, or any bad food. It could be, like, I work at a fucking restaurant that has, like, every fried food you can think of. So I'm always telling myself, like, you know, well, you're pretty good today. And I was like, well, if I eat this, I'll do this. Mm-hmm. If I eat this tomorrow, I'll start this. And then when tomorrow comes, you don't do that thing. And it's like, I can only imagine that cigarettes are like that times 10 or whatever. Yeah. Because I've had some pretty fucking strong feelings about food, especially late at night when you're like,
I love the way you describe that too.
No, I really like. I know there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way I do. Is like you go and you drink and you're like on your way home and you're like, I could get a fucking giant cheeseburger right now and some fries. And I know there's people that out there that don't necessarily relate to that, but like me and food, man. I like it's fucking rough. So my only vice.
That's what you can equate it to.
Yeah, I mean, alcohol I could quit if I wanted to. Everything else, I've never been hard on any kind of drugs. I've never really smoked. I've only smoked when I've been drunk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'd only say like food is the only thing that I could compare what you're going through as. So I feel for you, dude.
Well, I'm just blown away too. Like Jen, my wife, like she just quit one day. It was like she was a smoker from like way longer and way earlier than I was. And she just literally was like, I'm not smoking anymore, and just stopped.
Yeah.
Like, and actually, like, successfully did it, no problem. I mean, she is, like, the same, I think, as you, where, like, if she's been drinking a lot and she sees other people smoking, she'll, like, just join the party kind of thing. But for the most part, literally, Jen never smokes, ever.
Yeah, people love to bring that shit up when I'm like, I don't smoke. And they're like, well, that one time when you're really drunk, I'm like,
You know why? Because people feel bad about smoking.
The
Like,
fact
people,
that they smoke all the time.
Because people don't want to smoke. Like, I've not met a single person that's like, yeah, I love smoking. Like, I'm never going to stop doing this. It's like the best thing in the world.
It's like the people that smoke regularly are the ones always trying to hand you cigarettes when you're drunk.
Yeah.
They're like, come to the dark side. You know what I mean? Like trying to hand you a cigarette.
Because they want to be a part of that bringing other people in.
And then I wake up and my fucking throat hurts and I feel like I've been in a smokestack all night.
But the problem is, talking about it right now just makes me want to go have a cigarette.
That's so crazy. It's weird to me when people say like, oh, like I smoke a cigarette and it makes me, or like when they get done doing something, oh, I had a long day, I need a cigarette. Or like I just smoked a cigarette, now I got to take a poop. Mm-hmm. Like, what is the deal with cigarettes and doing things before? Because I can relate to that with food. Like, but that has to do with my digestion. So it's like I've eaten a meal and then be like, I got to take a poop. That sounds normal, but I don't know about smoking a cigarette. So
nicotine is, I might butcher this, but I'm pretty sure that nicotine is the only substance that literally gives your body the feeling that it's going for. So like if you like if you're really stressed out and you want to calm down and you smoke, like typically that helps you like calm down, like helps your like mind or whatever like relax. And then say you're getting ready to go out for a fun like party like night and you're getting ready to like have a really good time and you smoke a cigarette, it'll almost like they say that it'll make your heart speed up, like almost like you're getting like an adrenaline rush kind of. And it's like the exact same chemical, but like what your body's trying to do, it's going to go along with that and just enhance that.
If I have anything that like relate that to, it'd be like back in the day, like hanging out with Titus or whatever, like I would take like a small little tug off like a joint or whatever, and it would just kind of like chill me out because like I always had this kind of like, and I think you can relate to this, like this anxiety of going out. And back in the day, from like 21 to like 24, I always had this like anxiety, like tonight's gonna be kind of stressful with all the people out and drinking, but if I took like the smallest little hit of a joint, I would like just be calm. Yeah, I would go out and just be like, oh, everything's fine. Yeah, so I don't know if you can relate with that at all, but
I do. The other thing about it is like BJ and I were talking about this the other day. Being a smoker like almost puts you in like an not exclusive club, but puts you in a club so that when you go out, like if you like say, so for example, when I was like first at Ball State and I didn't have anybody that I really hung out with besides the people in the dorm,
you can always find someone that smokes.
I'd walk down to the bar, go to the bar, get a beer or something, and if nobody was like sitting at the bar, I'd just kind of hang out for a minute. And then I'd be like, all right, I'm going to go smoke a cigarette. And I'd go out, smoke a cigarette, probably meet like 3 or 4 people out there. And then that would become the group I hung out with for the rest of the night.
Well, also, there's always that guy that's out there asking for a cigarette. That's like, you can relate with that guy because you've been that guy. Yeah. So it's like, oh, and like I've been drunk and felt that camaraderie because like I went outside and been like, I'm drunk, I want to smoke a cigarette. Yep. So I like ask somebody and they'll be like full willingly be like, here's a cigarette, man. I'm like, thanks, I appreciate it. And they're like, here's a light too, and like they're so nice about it. It's because they're like, you're like part of this little small group of like people that are like, oh, cigarettes. But and then when I'm not doing that, then it's kind of weird to think of it that way.
And 99% of the time, like that's the other thing. Like 99% of the time, if you walk up to people and they are smoking and you say, hey, can I get one?
They're usually pretty cool about it.
9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, yeah, here you go. Like and not even ask about it. That's why it's funny because you can tell somebody that is not one that has been smoking for very long or is a cheap piece of shit is going to say, yeah, you can give me $1 for that. Like,
yeah, I've really never heard anyone say either
that's
I'm out.
It's only happened in really terrible areas.
And I think the shitty way of getting out of that is just being like, that was my last one. Mm-hmm. Like if you really don't want to give somebody a cigarette, I've heard
sometimes you do got to say that because you're down to like 3 or 4.
Yeah. So I've heard someone that I know for a fact that has a cigarette, but they've just been like, oh, I got one left.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact they did.
It's more. A good cop out move.
Yeah.
But yeah, the calming neurological, this is from ScienceDaily.com. The calming neurological effects of nicotine have been demonstrated in a group of non-smokers during anger provocation. Researchers writing in Biomed Central's open access journal Behavioral and Brain Functions suggest that nicotine may alter the activity of brain areas that are involved in the inhibition of negative emotions such as anger. And I've known that to be true because that's another thing. Like when you're going through, like I'm literally through the hardest 48 hours where like after that I stopped getting like irritable. But during that 48 hours, like I'm irritable, like I'm just like mad. Like I get mad really easily. I hear myself like cussing to myself a lot more. Like if I drop something on the ground, I'm like, fuck. Yeah. And like normally I'm just like, I just pick up whatever I dropped. Like it's just weird. And, but it's getting better. I just want people that if other people are doing it, I want you guys to share that experience with me because it honestly will keep me, I think, accountable. Yeah. And then also I can help try to keep other people accountable as well. But I think, I don't have really anything else. So I don't know if we wrote anything else down that you're interested in.
That's it, brother.
But, we'll get Ryan back. We miss him. He's one of our favorite guys to have here. And he's been a busy guy. I mean, he's got, I think he built a deck with his dad this past weekend for Father's Day.
Well, I'm assuming that because it said, like, don't ever build a deck in this kind of weather or something like that. So I was like, he must have built a deck.
Yeah, in the, 100-degree
And he's,
weather.
out there doing somersaults on girls and whatnot. So
he's just living his best life, man.
You got to.
And then, Shane's over here just rocking out, working 2 jobs, getting ready to go back to school and work 2 jobs. So I'm proud of us, man. We're working hard. The podcast is still coming along. We got a lot of good guests still that I have lined up. I just got to figure out scheduling. I got to remember because I'm pretty sure I have somebody scheduled for this Sunday. So I need to look and see what we're going to do about that.
There you go.
But yeah, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. I had a great time. I feel like sometimes when we just come in here, just us, we talk about some of the cool, deeper things, and then we
I definitely enjoyed this one.
Other subjects that are also fun.
Yeah,
so
I definitely enjoyed this one. So
yeah, so just you guys know where to find us. If you know where to find us, you know where to find all the people that we associate with. Smugcast, Pointless Discussions. Who else can you name?
PTO Unlimited. They've been great, dude. They met I love them because I feel like they actually do listen to our podcast. They told me Happy Father's Day,
and they bring up stuff, and then
you didn't even tell me Happy Father's Day, and PTO Unlimited told me Happy Father's Day.
Do you want to know what I thought when I was getting ready to send you Happy Father's Day, and I was like, I wonder if he'd feel like I was patronizing him by saying Happy Father's Day. Why? I don't know. I literally thought that, and that's why I didn't say it.
Married with children.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's another
Married
one.
with Children. Yeah, they're. We need to actually get them down, and they want to do
Chris Spangle.
Yep, Chris Spangle. Married with Children wants to do the paranormal investigation. You're gonna knock that off. Just be careful. I don't want it to fall on your head. No, I don't care about it falling off. I just don't want you to hurt yourself. But Married with Children, they're gonna do a paranormal investigation. They want us to be a part of. They also wanted to do a live podcast while doing Top Golf. So
nice.
They tweeted us. So I thought that was actually a good idea that we could go.
I'd pay $40 an hour to hang out with them.
Yep. And then
shout out to Merker Mark.
Yep. Dude, and he's the design right there. The board. And then Josh Schroyer from Pointless Discussions made that nice poster that's right behind your head. But yeah, we got a lot going on. This summer's busy.
I also want to give a free shout out to our buddies, our buddy Titus, Brian Titus, his girlfriend and Creedon's girlfriend, Jameson. They have a company that's called Rooted Scales.
What is it again?
Rooted Scales.
Eroded scales?
Eroded. Rooted.
Rooted.
A tree is rooted.
I got you.
At the Rooted Scales, our mission is to hold space for our customers to cultivate and maintain mental, physical, and spiritual balance. So basically what they're selling, as far as I'm concerned, is CBD oil.
Nice.
And I've talked to them about possibly being a sponsor of the show, and those things are kind of still in the. I haven't even told you about this, but those are really, really good friends of ours. So we'd
Amy's been on the show before, and Jameson's been on the show before.
Yeah, and Titus has been on the show before, and Creedon has been on the show before. So basically, all of them are really good friends of ours that we've known for a super long time, and we'd do just about anything for them to be a sponsor.
Yeah, they're great people too.
So that stuff's kind of in the mix. So keep an eye out for that. And
Rooted Scales.
Yeah, and so even just if they don't, for whatever reason, become a sponsor to the show, I want everybody to
still check them out.
To check it out. It's on Instagram, and it's just Rooted Scales. So like literally ROOTEDSCALES. Rooted Scales.
Yeah, and Amy I think she has a pretty good background in running a business as well. I'm not sure about Jameson. I know Jameson does. I'm pretty sure she does a lot of other really cool stuff in the business world. I just don't know exactly the specifics. So I think they're going to do a good job.
And you can even check them out at www.rootedscales.com.
Yes, nice.
For all your CBD oil needs. And that's what I'm kind of getting from their businesses. That's what their selling point is. And they got a few good.
And Brian Titus just joined the live stream. Thanks, buddy.
Well, right on, buddy. We're just talking about you and your
and Rooted Scales,
and you and Amy and the awesomeness that's coming from that. And I'm proud of you, man, for probably being a large part of the fact that you and Amy are starting a business with Jameson and Creedon. And I'm not saying that they're all starting a group together, but I mean, definitely, what's that phrase that's like. Behind every good man is a good woman. Yeah. Well, I'm sure that goes vice versa on the other side. So
absolutely.
So behind every good woman is a good man.
Yep. And I actually don't have the dongle today, so we're just gonna go out to the Juice in the Morning theme song.
Yeah, let's do it. So, it's traditional. We need to do that every once in a while, anyways.
Yep. So thanks for listening.
Yeah, and hopefully the juice was worth the squeeze.
Boom.